So today we are going to practice multiplying mixed numbers using a second strategy. And the second strategy we are going to talk about is turning your mixed number improper. So you're going to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction, and then you're going to multiply out the improper fraction. We're going to use the same problems we did yesterday so that you can compare the two different strategies. So if you have 2.5 times 18, you have to take your 2.5 and you are going to break it into an improper fraction. Okay, so some of us remember how to do that. Others of us need a refresher. So take the whole number 2. The whole number 2 is like having 4 halves. 2 is the same as a half plus a half plus a half plus a half. So you just took this 2 and you broke it down into 4 halves. This is 1, this is 2. So if you add up all your halves, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus this half up here, that's 5. So 2.5 is the same as 5 halves. Another way you can think about that is you take your denominator, which is 2, you multiply it by the whole number. So you do 2 times 2, which is 4, and then you add your numerator, which is 5. So 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5. And then you're going to take that and you're going to multiply it by 18. Now 18 is a whole number, so all you need to do is take 18 and put it over 1. Any whole number you can put over 1. And you are going to go ahead and multiply that out. Now, if you're looking at this, 5 times 18 is pretty tricky. So you're going to have to go over here and use some of your strategies. But 5 times 18 is 90. And then 2 times 1 is 2. And then you're going to have to put it in its lowest terms. So 90 divided by 2, or 2 goes into 90, 45 times. So your answer is 45, the same as it was the other day. Now, I do want to show you how to go ahead and cross cancel. That will make your multiplying a little bit easier. So let's say we have 5 over 2 times 18 over 1. And I'm going to do this in a different color. So you have the same problem. But this time, you're going to cross cancel before you start multiplying, which will make it a little bit easier for your multiplication. So when I say cross, you're going to look across. So you're going to look at 5 and 1. 5 and 1, you can't cross cancel because 1 is in its lowest terms. So you can't do anything with 1 and 5. But you're going to look at 2 and 8 next. And is there a multiple or a factor that go into both 2 and 8? And you should say yes. You should think right away that both 2 and 8 are even. 2 is a factor of both of them. So you're going to cross off 2 and divide 2 by 2, which is 1. And then you're going to take 18 and divide 18 by 2, which would be 9. So now, after your cross canceled, you've got 5 over 1 times 9 over 1, which is the same as 5 times 9, and 5 times 9 is 45 over 1, and you know anything over 1 is a whole number, so your answer would be 45. And that's how cross-canceling makes your multiplication a little bit easier instead of doing like big numbers times each other. So our second, oops, I'm going to put the answer equals 45. And now our second problem was 1 1/4 times 2 1/2. I'm going to pull what we did up. And in order to do this, we're going to turn them both to improper fractions. So 1 over 4, so you're going to, 1 is the same as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 because that's a whole. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 1 and 1/4 is the same as 5/4. 2 and 1/2 is the same as 5/2, the same as up there. So 5 over 2. Now I'm going to look at this to cross cancel before I even begin to multiply. So I'm going to look at the 5 and the 4, and 5 and 4 do not have a factor that is alike, so you can't cross cancel there. And then you're going to look over here at the 2 and the 5, and they don't have a factor either, so we can't cross cancel. So we're going to go ahead and just multiply it out. So multiply your numerators, 5 times 5, which is 25. Over 4 times 2, which is 8. And then you've got to put it in its lowest terms. So now you think of how many times does 8 go into 25 without going over? And the answer is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So 25 minus 24 means you've got 1 left over, and then keep the denominator. So your final answer is 3 and 1/8. So we will go ahead and type that in over here. Oh, I'm going to cancel that out. I'm just going to write equals 3 and 1/8. So you're going to have some more practice today with multiplying mixed numbers out. I know that you do have to do a sketch for one of the problems, but you can also try to check it by turning your mixed numbers into improper fractions and solving it that way. So choose the strategy that you like best and go ahead and go with it.